I/O, it's show control, you know. I/O is a very straightforward concept. There are inputs, and there are outputs. The show controllers from Alcorn McBride support local and remote I/O devices, over both network and serial connections. Inputs allow you to take a voltage or contact closure signal and use that to make decisions. It could be used as a trigger to start a sequence, it could be used as a variable or parameter in an event, or as part of conditional logic to check if a particular input is on or high, off or low. The controllers support from 5 to 24 volts DC on the inputs, with a maximum of 5 milliamps of current. Alternately, contact closures require no voltage at all. These can be configured on the inputs page. If we apply 24 volts DC to a voltage configured input, we see the input turn on or go high. If we remove the voltage, we see it turns off or goes low. The outputs on the controller are dry contact relays. No voltage is supplied by them, but they are capable of supporting DC voltage up to a maximum of 900 milliamps before the polymer fuses will disconnect the relay's output. Don't worry, they're self-healing as long as you don't abuse them. The ride player has two analog inputs. One is an internal measure of the power supply's input voltage, which is useful when designing systems that rely on supercapacitors or batteries, and the power supply voltage may drop lower than needed to continue operation safely, and a single 0 to 10 volt DC input for external use for measuring some relative value in a system. These two voltages are read into the system as decimal variables for analysis instead of booleans. I/O don't have to be built into the controller's chassis. Sometimes it makes sense for those I/O points to be many feet away. Sometimes it may be in a completely separate building or scene. This I/O can be connected via network, but it's treated very similarly inside WinScript. The only difference is that I have to add a device to make them visible, and when I address them as device I/O in the dropdowns. I/O isn't the most exciting part of show control, but the ability to read inputs from an environment and to affect it in return is what show control is all about, making I/O a necessary and useful part of that system.